So this is the summary of the poem Refugee Blues by W. H. Auden. So these are the important points. This poem was published in 1939. In this poem, the poet talks about the plight of Jews wanting to leave Nazi Germany to take shelter and protection in other countries. Jews faced a lot of problems in settling in other countries as many of the countries denied them entry. The main theme of the poem is anti Semitism, isolation, and exile. The tone of the poem is of sorrow and loneliness. The poem highlights the pain and suffering of the Jews who were forced to leave their home country to save the lives of their loved ones. So, this is the text of the poem. Say this city has 10 million souls. Some are living in mansions, some are living in holes. Yet there is no place for us, my dear, yet there is no place for us. Once we had a country and we thought it fair. Look in the atlas and you will find it there. We cannot go there now, my dear, we cannot go there now. So, when the poem opens, the speaker, who is a Jew, says that there are around 10 million people living in the city. The city has vast disparity on the basis of wealth, as some people live in mansions and some in holes or slums. But he says that in this city there is no place for Jews because of Nazi Germany and anti Semitism. The speaker expresses his pain and disappointment of not feeling safe and secure in his own home country. In the next lines, the speaker says that once for him and his family, Germany was a home and safe place, and they could call Germany to be their country, and it was beautiful. They could look in atlas and identify the location of their country, but now they cannot go back there. Once they were very proud of their country, but they can no longer live there in the present circumstances. In the village churchyard there grows an old yew. Every spring it blossoms anew. Old passports can't do that, my dear. Old passports can't do that. The consul banged the table and said, if you have got no passport, you are officially dead. But we are still alive, my dear, but we are still alive. So, in these lines, the speaker remembers a yew tree outside a village church that blossoms every spring. But their passports got expired and they could not get them renewed. Everything that belonged to them in the past is now lost. In the next lines, the speaker talks about the problems that they have to face in the country where they have taken shelter. The officials call them legally dead if they don't have valid passports, but they are still surviving all these issues. Went to a committee, they offered me a chair, asked me politely to return next year. But where shall we go today, my dear? But where shall we go today? Came to a public meeting. The speaker got up and said, if we let them in, they will steal our daily bread. He was talking of you and me, my dear. He was talking of you and me. So, in these lines, the speaker says that he goes to meet a committee to get their passport renewed, but he is told to come next year. The speaker gets very much upset and disappointed, and he doesn't know where to take his loved ones so that they can be safe. So, in the next lines, the speaker says that he witnesses a political rally that was openly protesting against letting the Jews enter their country. The speaker hears Hitler saying that all Jews must be put to death. Thought I heard the thunder rumbling in the sky. It was Hitler over Europe saying they must die. We were in his mind, my dear, we were in his mind. Saw a poodle in a jacket fastened with a pin. Saw a door opened and a cat let in. But they were not German Jews, my dear, they were not German Jews. So, in these lines, the speaker imagines a thunder in the sky. Then the speaker compares his plight with animals. He sees a dog beautifully dressed in a jacket and a cat is welcomed through a door by its owner. But his plight, being a Jew, is worse than these animals. Even the animals are given worthy treatment as compared to a German Jew. Went down the harbor and stood upon the quay, saw the fish swimming as if they were free. Only 10 feet away, my dear, only 10 feet away. Walked through a wood, saw the birds in the trees. They had no politicians and sang at their ease. They were not the human race, my dear, they were not the human race. So, in the next lines, the speaker says that on his trip to harbor and the woods, he witnesses the fish swimming happily and birds singing in the trees. Even these birds and animals are enjoying freedom, but not the German Jews. In the next line, the speaker talks about a dream in which he sees a building with, you know, thousands of floors, doors, and homes, but there is not a single room which he can call his own. Dreamed I saw a building with 1,000 floors, 1,000 windows, and 1,000 doors. Not one of them was ours, my dear. Not one of them was ours. Stood on a great plain in the falling snow. 10,000 soldiers marched to and fro, looking for you and me, my dear, looking for you and me. So now in these lines, he says that he doesn't belong to anywhere. Although there are so many buildings, there are so many rooms, but nobody is allowing them to stay there, and there is no place which they can call as their own. So in the next line, speaker says that even other European countries are unwilling to give shelter to them. He doesn't have any shelter and he is wandering in the open. So he is very much scared because he knows that the soldiers are deployed to search for the Jews and kill them. And here the poem ends.